Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aristochats podcast episode. I think it's 10 today. Is it 10? Episode 10?
10 or 11.
I hope it's 10.
I think it's 10. We'll go with 10. Episode 10. Welcome back. Tonight we have our first nighttime podcast. And you've also will probably noticed that we've been on a bit of a hiatus for the last couple of weeks. Last 2 weeks, we haven't got anything recorded or filmed because scheduling problems and not a whole world of things to talk about that really interested us. I guess we don't want to force it if we don't find that there's anything interesting to talk about.
Been a bit hectic too, doing other stuff.
Yeah. It's been pretty busy. All of us with different things on. But hey, got some content tonight. We also recorded yesterday a full sort of combined tier list. Went through it character by character, our combined opinions for whatever that's worth. Nothing.
When will we release that?
I'm hoping that it will be out by the time this is out.
Okay.
Because it shouldn't be too hard. Because I don't think I'm going to edit it. I can't be bothered because I'm not
Just push it out raw.
I'm not like Mars or something who has like an editor to just go and
filter all
their
feel
content.
like the pacing was all right.
I think it was fine. Like obviously it's long form content, so if you want to watch that, hey, there it is. So. A couple of things to talk about today. Firstly, actually, one thing that we've been sort of discussing a lot amongst ourselves over the last couple of weeks and what we want to touch on is sort of the status of majors. And I guess what constitutes actually a major. So I'll open the floor with that. Like, how do you guys feel about it? What constitutes in your mind, straight off the bat, what constitutes a major for you?
For me, it needs to be a full weekend experience. And preferably also sort of like a lineup the week before of events and things, the salty sweet, that kind of thing.
Right.
It really needs to set itself apart from what a monthly or a regular event is capable of hosting.
I think those big not big lead up events, but those things like little cheese, medium cheese, and stuff like that, or the pre-BAM, whatever that's called, that everyone does. I think that stuff goes a long way and sort of
it really rounds out the whole experience.
Builds the atmosphere. You got like the pre sort of big major prep. You sort of check how everyone's playing, So that I think that's definitely like a big component. What about you, Aaron?
I think the major thing for me
major
is
crazy.
You need to have like attendance that are like a strong attendance,
Right? So if it's less about the overall amount of people going and more.
Yes, I feel like you can kind of have like three categories for like a major, and it's like things like attendance, like the numbers, like your prize pool, and like the strength of your attendance. If you have like a tournament with 200 people and 199 of them are me, like it's not really a major.
That's kind of hype though. I'm going to level with that. I'd watch that for
I guess
maybe 20 minutes.
Just 199 me's and like MK Leo. Like
imagine if you get the upset though. You got a lot of opportunities.
A billion lions or all the Pokemon.
A good example of that would be the UQFD in Smash 4 Queensland, where there was, in Vizzy, there was Yahya, there was Rhino and Biju. And Dean was probably there the second time as well.
Maybe.
But they were not. There was no OzBR.
They were like high level, but like not like top level.
Yeah,
right?
and
I even say like mid level.
And even then,
say high level.
Yeah, Rhino, Biju, Dean, like mid level. Yeah. The only like high level was like Yahya.
Yeah.
Who was like
who got second?
Who got second? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a major where like had 100+ entrants, and for Smash 4 in particular, that's quite a strong turnout. But there was no threat. Like there was no top level threat of interstate players there. Like they still did well because Queensland was weak, relatively.
Yeah.
But yeah, there really was no top Oz representation.
It's fascinating because those three categories like are primarily controlled by one of them being the prize pool. If you have like a large prize pool, you'll end up getting more top players, which means that you will get more people.
I do think the prize pool theory is pretty fake.
Well, no, I'm not saying that like a major tournament has to have like a prize pool. Like if you had like 16 of the top 16 Smash players in the country at the moment in a room playing a tournament like that, and it was like a serious tournament with no prize pool, like that would be like a major basically.
I do agree. Like Big Cheese won, had 33 entrants.
Right.
and it was like the most stacked bracket. Like, you had Sado still getting like 25th or something.
Classic.
But
what I was thinking about, like, so I think everyone would call Summit a major, right? In America, where you have like all of these, like, because you have
much. It doesn't count for PG stats though.
Okay, fair enough. But like, if let's say it did, like the event is by definition it's stacked because let's say you have like Armada and it doesn't play, but Mango, you have actually all of the best players borderline in the world outside of a couple, and they go to, and that's what you're basically a major bracket's going to look like anyway, like your top 32 or whatever. So I think, so basically the reason this sort of came to mind for me was thinking about Pismas, because I looked at the attendance list, and this isn't to throw shade, but I was looking at this attendance list and I was like, well, there are 2 candidates to win this tournament. And that's a bit vague as well, because like obviously if you have the best player in your country outright and they attend a tournament, they're just better than everyone. Like they are going to win the tournament. It can still be a major, but I don't think there's enough like Oz PR there for me to consider this like a major tournament.
From looking at the attendance, I wouldn't consider it like a major. I mean, it's called a major, obviously. Yeah. It's called the Queensland Christmas Major or whatever. And not like throwing shade or anything, but your candidates to win this is Jix and
possibly Sebpro.
Sebpro 101.
I don't think anyone else can win it.
No.
Shmoo there.
Okay.
There is Shmoo. There is.
Is he?
Yeah. So Extra has pulled out.
Yeah.
So,
Extra's pulled out. Yeah.
I feel like there are 1 or 2 more strong contenders, but that's 4 or 5. It's a bit tricky.
Where is Shmoo in?
Couldn't tell you, but he has been number 1 in New South Wales. I don't know where he is right now. That. So yeah,
it's just like
I don't know when did he sign up recently or something because.
Relatively recently.
I think we went through it about actually 2 weeks ago when there wasn't he wasn't there, but even you look at like Big Cheese and you look at like say the top 12 or whatever, you have like one of these players at this tournament, which is Jix. And what did Bro 1 get? Did he get 9th or 13th or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
If you got 13th, then you have like one player in the top 12 for Big Cheese who's actually attending Pissmas. So I don't know, and it's not to take away hype from the tournament or something. I just wanted to talk about the conversation of what sort of constitutes one.
Brought up the conversation of
it's kind of interesting.
What do you want out of a major?
It's pretty much like the UQFD thing again. Like we've got players like Mast and a few others. I kind of hope I'm wrong, but they're not going to win the tournament. They're not going to win the tournament.
It is definitely quite a step up from UQFD, like in terms of interstate.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's like 15 or like 20 like interstate players, quite solid, I think. Yeah. But the problem is that none of them outside of Sebpro, maybe Luma.
Like especially when you look at that top 8.
Yeah, Luma. Yeah.
When you look at that top 8, it's not your typical.
I don't think Luma can
what you would think
probably
of top
not.
8 major.
I mean, he did quite well at Big Cheese, but
and BAM as well.
I thought that. I just think that the more they play, the more Jix will pull ahead. I just feel that way from watching it.
Yeah.
I think they went game 5 at Big Cheese, but I really thought that Jix was like the superior looking player in that set.
I think they went game 5 at BAM as well. But
and who won that?
Jix.
Okay.
Also, to clarify something with the prize pool being fake, what I meant by that was that there's the common, you have like arcades putting money into that. People think that like, $500, prize pool, pot bonus, whatever. We're gonna get like 5, top level players come. We're like,
not for 500.
It never translates like that. It's a bit of a.
I'll tell you one time.
Sometimes it does though.
Well,
occasionally,
because I put like a pot bonus towards. Was it one of the Rambats, I think, and that was enough incentive for Jono to come up at least.
Okay.
It definitely can. It's like right place, right time, and if someone is in the position to take advantage of that, then it's like, all right, sure, you know what, I will. But it's by no means like
unless it's like a mass, like an actual like crazy pot bonus. I don't think it's necessarily going to make just like stacks of people go. Yeah, but 1 or 2 contenders might be like, oh yeah, I'll give that a shot.
And even if it does work, I don't think it's like value for money.
But I would agree. But one of these times I would say this isn't a pot bonus. This is another sort of aspect of it. But like SXC 20, whatever this was, 16 or something, where the winner went to Genesis. Yeah. This was massive. When that news was like, I was never going to go to SXC. I don't think any other Queenslanders or anyone was interested in going to it. And they said the winner goes to Genesis, which at that time nobody went international.
Yeah.
And so they said that. I was like, I'm fucking booking those flights. I was like, Mum, I got to go to this tournament. I could win this.
Yeah.
You know. And since it was so early in Smash 4, so many players thought I could win that as well. So it was like really exciting.
Yeah.
So there are like, I mean, that is for all intents and purposes a pop bonus.
Yeah.
But there are different, like there are ways to do it. Even have, like we talked about it before, like having like the point system for like, if you have the point system at the end of like half of the year or the full year, you get to go to X, like you get to go to this tournament sponsor,
kind of system,
which is so much more cost effective because it should incentivize you to go to all these tournaments anyway. But then you only actually like pay for like one flight at the end of the year or something.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I think the Smashbox 5 is maybe one of the most interesting examples of a tournament that's not a major that ended up being basically a major.
Was it a one-day event?
Yes.
We did have we had a guff
criteria.
We had a guff before it, but it was a different event. But it was like the pre like Smashbox thing with all the interstates like went to it, so that was kind of exciting. And the pool ended up being pretty strong because we had Kira, who plays top 8 at SXC, Jace, who plays top 8 at SXC, myself, who plays top 8 at SXC, and then Cameron, who I think Bowser had just been patched, and I think he'd won like the last round batting Victoria.
Yeah.
So it ended up being quite a strong event, but probably there was only like 50, maybe.
Yeah, because we had like a venue cap of like 55
yeah, that's true. We actually had a venue cap. Yeah.
Leisha probably would have gotten like 9th or
she might
have
done it right.
V was there as well. Who else was there?
True. V
Ignis
was there. Who had won a BAM.
Yeah.
So it
totally
was
flopped.
It was a very, very strong tournament at the time.
Even Flex was there, obviously, who got 9th at SXC as well.
Yeah.
So and SXC was like the big the big tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, in retrospect,
that was almost my first tournament.
Really?
But, yeah.
Should have gone. I would have
kicking myself.
You would have liked the hype.
Yeah.
That was back when I used to pop off because it meant so much to me. And so, do you like? We've probably spoken about this before. I think we have. But like, do you have like a certain thing or phrase that you say when? I don't feel like you guys don't pop off that much.
No, not so much.
You're like such a relaxed customer. Like, it's just
we have discussed this before.
Yeah.
Ben like slaps his knee or something like that.
I've seen him give a knee slap once or twice. He's disparages himself. He'll say like, "Come on," like when he messes up, but he doesn't really say much in the moment.
I get cognitively annoyed at myself.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't really pop off when I win though. Like,
no.
Yeah. I breathe like a sigh of relief at the end of the game.
Yeah. I don't think I would anymore, which is a shame because I missed that. But mine was always the Leighton Hewitt, like, "Come on," and the fist pump. That was mine. And I remember like that was so like Smashbox and Stacked are my two favorite sort of like tournament series or majors or whatever. Smashbox because it's such a small confined space, and so at the end of the day, everyone were like, you can't help but watch grands, which is like sick, and everyone it's so loud. People are quiet during the actual game, but it's like so loud. The atmosphere is so good. These smaller venues actually like have this sort of benefit, which is really cool. And I don't know, it just meant a lot to me to like not lose one of those. And yeah, I really like it feels kind of shit on the day because you're like, man, I'm fucking like surrounded by sweaty gamers. Like, get the fuck off me. But then in retrospect, it's like that atmosphere is so kind of lost in today's Smash scene, and I look back on it pretty fondly.
It is a shame at a majors, especially when there'd be top 8 playing or whatever, and everyone's just playing friendly. It's like no one's watching the top 8 going on.
That actually is something about majors, because if your tournament is a major, people should be watching grands.
Yeah.
So if you watch, if there's like a round bat that's stacked and it's got like ghosts, he's come up and this month, and it's it's a Victorian monthly, so it's stacked. If nobody gives a fuck about grands and is watching it, it's not a major.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. But everyone's watching. Like we had, what do we have? Steve, fucking Sephiroth in the Big Cheese Grand Final. These characters are lame, and everyone's watching it because it was hype as shit just because of what the tournament is. Everyone knows it, so everyone's watching it. And I mean, the level of play was great, but if that was at a Rambat, like fuck it, like, I wouldn't be watching it.
I actually feel I don't know how popular of opinion this will be, but I think it could be worth looking into majors only doing top 6 instead of top 8 as the stream games, because a full top 8, especially if there's a reset in there, can be like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, it's long.
It's a long slog.
Yeah.
And multiple times now you have the excitement from the start, everyone's cheering, and then by the time you get to like losers finals, it's just dead. Everyone's like, okay.
Oh my god, the one cool player's been knocked out as well.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, the hyped guy got fourth.
Yeah.
We've been cheering for the last 2-3 hours. We're kind of running out of energy, and now it's
the Denny got ninth or something.
BAM kind of felt like that for me because Grands was Jono versus Extra.
Which is
and that does happen.
Like, Victorian Rainbow.
It's not
grand final.
It's not their fault or anything, but
Australia, it's like it's always gonna revert to Victorian Grands, like
pretty much
almost every time.
Yeah.
So that's always a bit of a sad thing. Like OHN 16, I think it was, where you had Jay Dizzle on a tear, and this is when Jay Dizzle was not number 1. He was like number 4 in Victoria or whatever. He might have been number 2 at that time, actually. But he beat True 4, Game 5, last hit, timeout situation. Like, really hard. Good set.
That's hype, yeah.
And then he beat Blub for 3rd place or whatever, who was like ranked higher than True 4 in Germany at that time.
Jesus. Who did Blub play?
Fox. Yeah. And he had like a Bayo secondary as well. Okay. And then it was Extra Jay Dizzle Grand Finals. And like, it was a fine set. But it was like, okay, well, that was the exciting stuff that's already happened. And now this is just a Vic Rambat.
Yeah, that's a Vic.
Even though it's like good level gameplay, I don't care.
Because you can see it kind of any time as well. Another thing, I guess, is like, what was it? There was a tournament that, I can't remember what tournament it was, that like was sort of said to be a major, but it didn't have a stream.
That was Pissmas 2.
Yeah. I feel like, I feel like that was that not considered a major, but it like was a major.
So there was 2, then there was 2.5 or whatever.
Well, 2.5 doesn't. That's not.
So 2 wasn't originally intended to be a major, I think. And then it had more interest than people had, and that did have quite a bit of top level attendance, I want to say.
Yeah. So that one actually wasn't intended to be a major, and ended up becoming a major. Funnily enough, because it
happens
had like
sometimes. People just start like pouring in and. Signing up and stuff.
Randomly. Yeah, it had like Purple H, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Extra.
Oh, true.
Gosh, I am blanking, but that was like Sad Hours breakout.
Yeah.
Was,
like
major was that the one he almost beat Purple H?
That was Meta Shift.
Okay. Shadru was there as well.
Yeah. When you had like Shadru being Oz PR and stuff like that, it was quite a good attendance. Ari as well.
Do you need a stream for it to be a major?
No.
I don't think so.
If you're recording games, then like
it's good enough.
So if you're not recording games,
it's a bit tricky because if you say flat out no, then it's like okay, every major before 2011 was not a major.
Like, this guy won this tournament, and you're like, that's not a major because it wasn't streamed. Sorry, Chief.
I feel like you don't need a stream for it to be considered a major.
So obviously it's kind of not a fully genuine question, but I guess it's to find out like what a major is, and I think the intangible atmosphere is such a big part of it. And if you lose that by not having things like side brackets, salty sweets, the
like that whole experience,
the experience of like, fuck, we're going. The tournament, the bracket starts on Saturday. We're going on like Wednesday or Thursday because of all of the shit. Like we've got to go to the pre-locals. We've got to like get to the hotel. We've got to grind for like 2 days. We've got to practice, get ready, get accustomed to the environment because we're we're going to this fucking major. And if you lose that from kind of anything happens to lose that, it takes away so much of it, which is a shame.
Because you did have DD at that time on Twitter saying like, it's not a major, guys. There's no stream.
No stream.
That's not a major.
No stream.
And he got a bit dogpiled by that.
Yeah.
But it brought up a good point because even Phantom has had that problem. I think Big Cheese might have had that problem this year. Because people tune into the stream and it's like unwatchable. Like it's all stuttering everywhere. It's not worth watching it, and everyone's like, "Well, this is shithouse." Like, a major needs a stream, especially if it has one. It needs to be watchable.
Yeah.
So it is.
I mean, Pissmas ended up being streamed. It was just not live.
Yeah. And it was even better. He had like Larry Lur watching it and like reviewing the videos as it was going. It was really interesting, actually.
Cool. Yeah, it's funny like thinking about how big we've talked about this before, but like how big streams used to be and how like important it was and how kind of rare and the quality was so dog shit and how much that's grown. And it makes me think about so much, sort of the past history of Smash. And I was thinking about Smashboards the other day and how this site is completely dead now. And it's such an interesting transition how the whole scene internationally, globally, has just moved. Not even like a decided decision or anything, it just happened. Everyone's just moved. Like they moved first from Smashboards to like Twitter, and then Twitter to Discord. Basically, now they just come and have at these places pretty much.
If Twitter implodes on itself, do you think we'll go back to Smashboards?
No. I think forums are dead, man.
Yeah, it's like for some reason it's so hard for me to like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go post on Smashboards. Like,
why though? Like, not even sort of to critique you, but I miss forums. I actually do. Like, I think you get, I don't know, like...
It's just an attention span thing, I think.
I get, yeah.
Big Cheese had a shout-out thread on...
Bring back the shout-out thread, man.
I'm pretty sure.
They're not the same on Twitter, because, like, you either have fucking 14,000 tweets that nobody is going to read through, or you're dogging people by not mentioning them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, nobody wants to scroll through your shout-outs of 17 tweets, all 250 characters each. Like, nobody gives a shit. And you can't even... I mean, yeah. So that was like Smashboards was so good for that. I feel like some part of the community has been lost by losing Smashboards, which was around for when was this site created?
Like 05, 06 or something like that. Or is it that early?
Yes, it was 05, I believe.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much like history. I think a lot of the links are dead now.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
It's a real shame.
Yeah, because there's so much. Have you been through like some of the past posts on that website?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You go through.
Cancelled.
Who?
Everyone.
Yeah. I was like, who are you referencing? About
maybe that's why no one uses it. Just like lock and key.
Just like forget about the bottom of the ocean. Yeah.
I actually went through old Brawl, like Queensland posts and stuff like that for a while. And it was a really crazy coincidence. So was there like a LAN smash or something that was hosted
every 3 months?
Was it hosted in like the
ANZ Stadium?
Yeah.
Great venue.
So
actually.
I was looking through posts and Vice was like, oh yeah, I took some photos of some events. And it's really interesting seeing like, you know, people dressing that way, and you had like, I don't know, flushes put on.
What do you mean that way? Like what do you mean?
You know, like black shirt, jeans, like they're all dressed like that.
Yeah.
But one of the photos, so when I was younger, I had an older friend of my brother's who was better at Smash than me. So he was kind of like the guy that I always tried to be as good as.
Where's this guy at?
Well, he went to a brawl.
Oh,
he went to a brawl tournament.
Oh,
yeah, and he played Sonic.
Okay.
And he said, you know, he did all right, and then he never really went back for whatever reason, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And he only mentioned it like once, maybe twice. And I was looking through the photos.
Oh, no. You're gonna see him.
Yeah, Vise took photos of like one event.
Cool.
He took this was not a weekly thing.
Yeah.
He just like one day he decided to take a photo of people at that event, one time only, and there he was in the photos on that Smashboard post.
That's very funny.
The odds of that, let alone him being in a shot of that. They were like,
do you know who won the LAN Smash?
No, I don't actually.
Probably Jace. What? Yeah, any idea what year?
Probably like 09.
I was probably there.
You might have been. Probably Jace. I don't know. I don't actually know how many LAN Smashes he won. LAN Smash was my first one that I won. With this, actually, I don't know if I've told this is fucking crazy. This is actually, you don't have this happen anymore in Smash. The game's like too developed and people are too good. So I had never won a tournament. I think I had actually been the best player in Queensland at different points, but I'd never actually won a tournament. And I was playing at LAN Smash, and I'd been playing against Jace as like Olimar as Wolf, and can't remember if Meta Knight was banned. He might have been banned. And I was playing Wolf, and it just was like I couldn't beat him. It was too hard. He was too good. And then randomly, like round 2 of the bracket, I'm like, I'd mucked around with Pit in like a few friendlies. And I was like, dude, Pit, funny character. This is so troll because my mum had driven me up here to fucking attend this tournament. Actually, like, you know, and I'm just like playing, not even a secondary. I've never played this character actually. Like, don't play this character at all. Run into Jason like winner's side, and I think I play Pit into him, or maybe he just like 3-0s the Wolf or something. And then I'm like, I'm just going to play Pit for like the rest of the tournament. Actually, I think I went straight Pit the entire tournament. So I think he beat me as Pit in winner's side. And then I actually won the tournament through losers solo Pit, which is just actually like maybe this people don't understand, but like that is fucking crazy. You imagine like Jadis will rock up to a character. He's not like labbed it for 2 weeks. He does not play it, and he just beats the best players in his stage. He just beats Strix and goes.
He just picks up Shulk or something.
It's actually so weird. It's actually so weird. But it's a gimmick. because what happened was in Brawl, we didn't have a ledge grab limit at this time, so I was planking. I was just sitting on the ledge, shooting double arrow and like kind of mixing up what you do, and planking, just camping and like timing out multiple games against Jay specifically were timeouts.
Jesmo was playing Cruel Smash.
Yeah, basically, he was too good. He couldn't interact with this guy, and he ends up. I actually knew I had the tournament like game 3 of losers set, or maybe game 4 of losers set, because he ghosted out. He picked Zelda, and I was like, it's over. I've won my first tournament. Because I was like, there's no way. Because I've played Brawl Wi-Fi for like 3 years. I'm like, I'm not going to lose to a fucking Zelda player. Let me tell you what, I've played against plenty of Zeldas. I will not lose to this Zelda. And just fascinating that transpired. And then next tournament, ledge grab gone, ban that, 35 ledge grab limit, and Pit was retired.
Poor Pit.
That's very funny. Who decided to ban that?
I don't know.
Arcos.
I think it was Arcos, yeah. But funnily enough, I talked to Jace years later, and he would complain about Diddy. Never liked Diddy, obviously, in Smash 4. And I was like, oh, how can you complain about Diddy when I'm like being cool? And then we played this Pit set where I actually timed you out for like 3 sets, and you never complained about it. And he's like, I thought those sets were great. He's like, I thought that was great Smash. And I was like, this guy's just Kion. Like, he's like, that's Smash. Like, that's it, baby. Like, give me that. The planking. Actually stalling him 8 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever the fuck the time limit was. Basically, all the game's going to time. And he's like, that was great.
Interactive Smash.
Yeah,
great
Smash.
Smash.
He's like, it's so like, kind of like cerebral. It's not like, kind of like what Jet was saying. You're not gated by just like crazy tech skill and speed. Like, you're fucking just like, you're not abusing frame data. You're just like, very thinking, it's like, oh, I can't do that. I have to mix up this option slightly now, like all this sort of stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but shared that experience. I don't know how many, like if I won like the next tournament or whatever. Meta Knight got unbanned, and I think I started winning with Meta Knight. But first ever tournament win, solo pit out of complete nowhere, because I'm like, not going to win with Wolf. Trolled my mum out the arse who'd driven me up here to like win this tournament, and I'm like, can't win with this. So I'm actually sandbagging, actually trolling.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and it's just like, wait, I might be able to win this tournament with solo pit. It's crazy.
Awful.
Yeah, fucking weird. But I do miss Smash boards and that sort of stuff. I think there's a lot
different culture to it.
Well, there's a lot of players who like don't interact as much or don't see it and as much of each other now, that everyone's sort of in their state discords.
Yeah.
Whereas
segregated.
You have like regions in Australia, like I think you had like the South Australian, like sub forum and all this under Australia on Smashboards, but you saw everyone and they all went.
You
to
could so easily just pop in
and obviously we know you can do this with Discord, but I feel like people don't as much.
Yeah,
they're more so likely to converse on Twitter, probably than in Discords. You might drop in and kind of just troll around and say hi for like 2 seconds and then leave, because you don't want to talk to people who are outside of your scene. So
I feel like Smashboards also is more likely to have something of substance be said, I imagine, just because of like moderation and stuff like that. Yeah. Where if you pop into a Discord, it's already been ravaged by people just saying nonsense for 2 years. Yeah. So most people in that scene probably don't even look at that Discord, and they have their own friend group Discord as well. So it's
this is
2 steps removed.
This is the problem that I had with like character Discords, because I would like in Brawl I would go onto the character sub forums and it would be like, oh, Zelda, here's like all of Zelda's advanced techniques. You can like be reverse.
Dude, Brawl had advanced techniques.
You can be reverse Nehru's love or like whatever. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's useful.
And you go into these Discords, and obviously the appeal is that you can instantly talk, and you don't have to like click post something. You know what I mean? You don't have to post actual massive
smoother process.
Yeah, and you don't worry about like grammar or anything like that. But the problem I had was that I would go into the Pirate Mithra Discord, and it would be like they'll be talking about like Pyra's feet or whatever, and it's like this is just not useful to me, because I don't go into the advanced techniques part of like the Zelda Smashboards thing, and there's no discussion of Zelda's feet. You know what I mean? So
missing out.
That's the problem that I have with Discords, is that it's like too laid back, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it is harder to find, in my experience, resources for. So I would get on like a couple of the different characters on Discord, and be looking for like actual useful information. And there are like 30,000 different channels, and the overwhelming majority of it is horse shit, useless garbage. Whereas you get on Smashboards and it's like, this is pinned, this is pinned, this is pinned. These are the 3 threads that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
And then there's a
And
social
it's on
thread
the front of it and everything. And there's and you have all your other garbage.
in the social
Which kind of works basically. Like Discord can operate in this way, but it just does. It's so more cluttered to me. And it's much harder to find resources, even though they are there. I'd find it just more difficult to find them than what it used to be for Smashboards. Just pinned, bang, bang.
Even
Full
Smash
list of
Wiki
all
as well.
ATs. Yeah.
We have like the Melee and Brawl sections are really filled out
Yeah.
and everything's in there. And you hit like Smash 4 and Ultimate. There's just
people stopped using
no
it, yeah.
information.
Another big problem is that with the advent of Discord comes the advent of like Discord moderators.
Oh,
and
true.
these are like 8 times worse than Smashboards moderators. Like Smashboard
who weren't the
moderators-
most liked people to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Think of like a Reddit mod and then just like times it by 8. This is like Discord
There were
moderators.
some heinous ones, yeah.
You sometimes I would like look at pinned things and like what's supposed to be like resources or like the metagame channels of these Discords, and it's just like the pinned messages are just like Discord mods being like rude to users and stuff, and it's like
Get owned.
I would love for some useful information here, but instead you're like telling Timmy that he's like an idiot or whatever for thinking down tilt is a good move or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Smash World moderators didn't really do this. They'd like infract you for like double posting or whatever, which was an annoyance, but it was
Like a necessary evil. To
less
keep it all
ego fueled
organised,
as well. Yeah.
If you got the time, for sure, get back on Smashboards, take a look at some of the old Australian stuff if you're interested in this sort of history. You got to go check out Luke Adio's posts. You got to check out Ghostbone and Grim Tuesday's posts.
Yeah.
What were they called? As a
Grimbone.
Yeah, you got to check out the Grimbone posts. Who else had some rippers? I mean, even Shire, Chaotic.
Yeah, probably Earl and Nova. probably
Yeah,
had some
Earl. Oh,
interesting
yeah.
ones as well.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
We
There's a
actually had
couple of the really old, like, sorry to disparage them, the Melee freaks, like the
Yeah.
really like no holds barred, like they're crazy. Back
Yeah.
in like late 2007 and shit.
Yeah,
Like Australian
yeah.
Melee players, they are fucking weird.
Yeah.
They're cool people, a lot of them, but they're fucking weird, and they just go off like.
even kind of like after like Psych
Yeah.
was a bit of a like a psychopath.
Yeah. If you no, here's the thing: if you're playing Smash in like 2010, 2008, 2005,
You're
you're
a
fucking
psychopath.
weird.
Yeah.
You are so. It's not
Yeah.
mainstream at all. You are something crazy wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Actually,
It's true. It's
It
true.
is
The
so
hit
true.
rate. Yeah, you have all like the brawl vets getting banned and stuff
Yeah.
in like the last few years.
dude.
All this insane shit they did.
How have we not talked about the actual like vicious hatred that Melee players had for Brawl players and vice versa?
It wasn't really vice versa.
It might have been.
No.
Well, I don't think it. So
Well-
okay. So Brawl players.
I think people would have been pretty salty.
Well,
about it,
the
like-
Brawl players didn't. I don't.
if it was in retaliation.
I think it was because I don't. Maybe that you call that bias is because I'm a Brawl player, but I don't think Brawl players like their game gets released and they're like, man, Melee dumb cunts. Like, look at these guys. I just don't think that really happened. The Melee players, for a lot of it is fair that they dislike the game, and then there's like this game is like no skill and it's just complete horseshit, and you're all fucking bad and you're babies and you suck ass and whatever said. A lot like worse stuff than that.
Yeah.
And then I think the Brawl players then responded to that. We had, can I say these words? We had, you got to know, we had Melee Fags and Brawl Tards were the two original
That's
terms.
right. Yeah.
Melee Fags and Brawl Tards. And that was so mainstream to hear as well.
Yeah.
That
But
was, yeah.
but
Like, literally
these
everyone
groups
saying-
actually genuinely like disliked each other. There was no like crossover. Now they kind of all support each other.
Oh, yeah. Now it's like good,
Yeah.
but like back.
Yeah, and
even,
you have people dabbling in both.
Yeah.
And,
even when like Smash 4 was released, I vividly remember there was the Playhouse Warehouse tournament series, I think, and Smash 4 had just been released, and you know how Smash 4 had the 8-player Smash, so Arcades has a 8-man setup, and it's just like all Falcon on Temple.
Right.
It's a friendly setup.
Sure.
Guess who's there?
The Melee players.
It's Psych.
Okay.
And he is sitting playing as Falcon on Temple, complaining
Complaining.
about the game. And it's
can't
like,
wave dash.
what?
That must be
Why
like,
are you complaining
that
about
must
this?
be like the first week of Smash 4 too.
It would have been very
that's
early.
So early, yeah.
He was just like relentlessly shitting on the game. And
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so funny.
you need to like go home.
But people are so much
reevaluate
to be
your
honest,
life.
We talk about how the scene's changed and sometimes for the worse. It's gotten a lot better in this respect.
It has,
so-
because all of these
yeah.
players have disappeared.
Well,
I don't think
it's not
Syke
even
plays
just
anymore,
like
does he?
I think people are just.
He'll still goes for the odd melee local,
Oh.
but he doesn't like take it seriously
God, how
anymore.
fucking old is
Has
he
he
now?
grown up?
He'd probably be like 33.
43? Oh, God. That's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, so I was watching a Hungry Box video recently, and they were talking, he was kind of reviewing Smash 4, and he was just like, fuck, this game is awful. And I was like, okay, disagree. But I never heard people really, like, I didn't hear people outside of Smash 4 players complaining about Smash 4. There wasn't like a big thing of Melee players being like, because I guess they were ready for it after Brawl.
Yeah.
But there wasn't this whole like, but with Brawl, it was for years of just like, fuck this game, fuck everyone who plays this game, you're all dog shit, like you're not Smash players, you're terrible.
Also, by the time Smash 4 came out, you had people who have started playing Melee well and truly after Brawl came out.
True.
Where when Brawl came out, you had the people who like, I've been playing Melee since 01. I grew up with this game. This is fucking sick.
Yep.
And then I've waited 7 years for the next Smash game. It's going to be freaking awesome. And then you get Brawl. And it's like, what is that? Like, I think it's probably a lot more of a shock to the system.
You know,
to those Melee
Yeah, it is
players.
a shock to the system. They waited 7 years for best
for the
game.
best Smash
Yeah.
game. Yeah. Dude, this used to piss me off so much. I remember in the Smash documentary, which is a great piece of fucking content in history. Amazing.
Yeah.
They had the section of the documentary where they get to Brawl, and they would show footage of it, and they're like, you know, it wasn't what we expected or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it's actually like a fucking Rob just like forward tilting on a repeat. They make it like the most degenerate, awful looking gameplay. And I'm like, dude, like get some like a Tori vs. Mewtwo up here or something, like
Yeah.
with the some fucking hype level Meta Knight Dittos,
Yeah.
or like Mr. R versus Naira or something. This game can look really nice. And you've just chosen this Rob actually just like forward tilting this Bowser on a repeat or something. Like it's just so unfair. It's so
Yeah.
bullshit. And then there's that whole thing. This probably a lot of people who don't know this one, but I think MLG had like one of the first original Brawl tournaments,
Yes.
and they had items on
Yes.
for whatever reason.
Interesting.
And Ken, the big Melee Ken, places second
Yeah.
with Marth.
To a
And
child.
loses to a child playing Rob. Probably just forward tilting on repeat.
It was the same footage, maybe.
Yeah, and this guy like actually just like smash ball gap. The Rob just keeps getting the smash ball and killing it. Smash ball's legal. It's so funny.
Was it single elim?
I don't remember. That's one part I don't know. Go and watch the set. That's your homework. Go and, if you can stomach it, go and watch the set.
It's really bad.
It's awful. Items. What are you thinking? There's no reason.
At least they were only on low.
That's almost like to deliberately
Yeah, I know,
make
right.
the game look worse.
Look
Like, why would you
bad,
do
yeah.
that?
Was
Yeah.
it MLG or was it Apex?
I think it was MLG.
Or
I
was
wanna
it
say it's MLG.
Evo? I feel like
Ooh, it might have been Evo.
it might have been
Might have
Evo.
been Evo.
That's even stranger.
Yeah, it might have been Evo. It wasn't.
So it was
I
like
don't think it was Apex.
Oh,
It was actually-
07, 08.
It was the first.
Brawl.
It was the first.
It was the
major.
2008.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Evo.
Hysterical.
Actually.
And
That's
then like
crazy.
their god Ken loses, and they're like, "This game's fucking awful." And this child who has no Smash experiences just
Yeah,
won.
a literal child, by the way,
Yeah.
playing Rob with like items on. We're not actually
Very,
joking when we're
very
saying
funny.
this.
It's really good, actually. I totally forgot about that. Speaking of children playing video games, I wanted to talk about the topic of throwing games, actually, because I've noticed this a lot recently, especially with like the younger generation of players, and I kind of just wanted to get your thoughts on it because I have a lot. I'm going to let you guys go first. So the players I'm talking about for reference, the ones I've noticed doing it, was Zomba versus Kameme.
Yeah.
Recently, that was like a week or so ago, and Onin versus Akala at the grand finals of whatever tournament that was. I can't remember the name, but they're very recent. You'll find it if you have a look for it. And basically, for those of you who don't know, what's happening is the players are like getting annihilated. They're down a stock and a half, 2 stocks, and on the last stock, they actually just like jump off the stage and kill themselves at 0. And well, I was going to say I don't know how to feel about that. I do. I'm curious what you guys think about it. I guess it's talking about if you think this is valid, if we should allow this, if it's the sportsmanship of it is correct, or if you think it's fine, if it's like strategic or whatever.
So I think face value is it's a big grow up moment of, you know, if you're in a competitive environment, you got to try. Like, you know, it's just it's a poor form and it leaves a sour taste if you've just like stopped trying in the middle of the set and then you just, you know, SD or whatever. You might as well just DQ, I guess, but that's not even better. But the exception to that, I think, is, and we've briefly talked about this, like if it's late at night or if it's a really kind of mentally challenging matchup or whatever, and you kind of feel like you're losing stamina, you're getting drained by like the longer the set goes, the less likely I am to win it sort of scenario, which I've definitely felt that way against like Shadrew into his Ken late at night in FNS. Like I need to like 3-0 this guy, otherwise I can't meter it out to the end.
Okay.
So in those kind of situations, I could see like some sort of strategy to like, all right, this game is a write-off and it's not worth like the mental energy required that I would need to exert much more to reverse 3-stock this person than they would need to, you know, just clean up the last stock or whatever.
Right.
So in those kind of situations, I could see, all right, just throw this game and then reset onto the next one, beat them in the next game. Although in particular, I really hate when someone's getting completely like destroyed or whatever, and then they keep playing until they take a stock, like that they finish off the stock.
I think,
and then they run off as soon as they take the stock, and that is super loser.
I can't remember which one of them it was. I think maybe they both did that.
Yeah,
actually,
it's just so.
Didn't get 3-stock pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's literally the same energy when like someone destroys the whole game and like to get the last kill, they do something they can't recover back from, or they Bowser suicided you or whatever, and they're like, oh well, you didn't 3-stock me, did you? It's like you did. You did get 3-stocked, like you know, absolutely, actually, but.
What are your thoughts, Sarah? Ooh, okay. Buckle up. What do we got?
Okay, I get that it's like children being children, but I can't ever remember a time in my life where I personally, or anyone really I know, has just been like spat the dummy and just decided that they're just gonna chuck themselves off the stage because they're not like doing well. Like the piss poor mental of like Zomba to be like, I've taken like a stock, time to run off the stage. I think he was playing like Lucina or something, and he actually just ran off and like air dodged into the blast zone or whatever. And then like and Salt tweeted about it as well, just like it was like, you can never understand my pain. My Rob experience is unparalleled. You can never, ever, ever be as good as Rob as me. And it's like, you expect anyone to take you seriously when you're
The problem is people do, because he's got like every top player has like their group of like stands.
Yeah.
Who they do anything, they behave in any way, they say anything, and it's just a flood of like Twitter responses saying like, yes, that matchup is impossible. You could never win it. It's impossible.
It's so strange. I did actually tweet on main about this, and
yes, I think I did too.
I
responded to that tweet.
Yeah, I did have people.
I was like,
they were like, come
on, man, it's just a kid.
You're bullying a child, and it's like, this child is like 17. He's like a year away from being an adult. You don't just magically become an adult when you turn 18.
I mean, that's also like, that's in the eyes of the law. If we're being serious here, like this, you shouldn't be behaving this way as 17.
No,
like the guy is not 8.
No, exactly.
Come on.
And
like, I used to cry in Mario Kart when my sisters beat me, and I used to call them cheaters when I was like 3.
Okay.
You can do it when you're 3.
But would you do that when you're 17?
If my sisters beat me in Mario Kart, maybe I would now, because I'm like, that can't be happening. They must be cheating. But that's kind of thing. Like, come on, like you're 17. No, man, come on, seriously.
I mean, Onan's like 16, but it's the same. It's the same picture.
Like, you shouldn't. Yeah.
Like, why are you throwing a tantrum? Because you're like, if you think Rob versus Sora is literally impossible, that there's no solutions to it, you should forfeit.
Well, he wasn't playing Rob. His
character
rouletted.
He's character rouletted because he believes that this matchup is either impossible or he knows that he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Play a better character.
He tried Joker. Tried Steve, maybe? He tried a couple.
Actually, I think it was Joker that he jumped off the stage with.
Yeah, I did it more than once.
Well, yeah.
That's funny.
Okay.
I mean, on the other hand, if someone did that to me, I wouldn't feel like...
Slighted?
I don't think I was about to say slighted, and then I stopped myself.
Well, you do your...
I wouldn't care. I'd just be like, whatever, free win. Like, if they're going to do that. Unless it was...
I feel like if you're at like a major tournament or a big tournament...
If it was like a particularly good set up to that point or something, or like had pretty significant stakes to it, I guess. But otherwise, like... Yeah, situational, but I feel like I wouldn't salt out if my opponent did that.
I don't know if I'd salt out, but I'm gonna talk about a few things that haven't been raised yet. You want to go some?
I just I watched this Zomba set, right? And this is like the main set that I watched. This was a waste of my time watching this set. It was literally a waste of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody learned anything. It was like on a big stream as well. So. Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with so many different parts of this actually and why this is not acceptable. These people have sponsors. You're actually being like paid to play the game, and you get so many like rewards for being sponsored, and you're tarnishing your entire sponsorship and what these people are like providing you by doing this shit. It looks bad for them. Ruins your brand as well. You're doing yourself a disservice. Doesn't look good at all. We're like paying you to attend this tournament. Oh, you fucking gave up. Awesome. We got great use of our fucking money and time and our brand. And thanks, man. And you've estimated with like our tag above your head. Awesome. That's so sick. People actually buy spectator passes. And this is like going to, and you can't, so in League of Legends World Championship, you can't, or even LCS, like the lower regional stuff, you can't surrender. You're not allowed to surrender. Now, people can't say if you're playing your hardest, and sometimes games are lost, but you can't surrender.
Yeah.
Because people are paying to come and see you fucking play, and so you don't get to like ruin the spectacle by like, this would be like you go and see a football match or something, and then you're down 20 points, and then you actually don't even take the field. After half time, you're like, we're going home. It's like, well, I paid money, actually, so you're going to fucking play. Get on the field and lose by 80 right now. West Tigers did that a few times this year, I think.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
So there's that as well. Again, at it's less of an issue at locals, but at major tournaments, you kill the fucking entire vibe of the. I know that's like intangible or whatever, but you kill it. You're watching like top 8. Oh my god, like this guy, that guy, this guy's doing so well, and that was so hard, and what a set that was, and then you're actually just killing yourself. And then you go into the next set, and the whole energy is like, wow. Okay, and you hear the commentators, the casters talk about it. Well, they don't talk about it, but like they move into the next set after that. They can't even build the energy back up. It's gone. Yeah. They're like, okay, that was the set, guys. That was the set. Hey, great job to both players out here trying hard. Obviously doesn't have that matchup on lock yet, but he's a fighter. He'll come back. No, he's fucking not. Yeah. Let me tell you what, he's not a fighter. It's awful. It's so bad. And I get. There is a difference between. And we know what the difference is when you like jump off. So you're down like fucking 2 stocks. You're getting obliterated. You jump off and you like have a laugh. You're like, oh man, you're fucking annihilating me. Go next on that one. Okay, whatever. If you are just like grumbling, shaking my head, like jump off the stage at 0. No, this is not the same thing. Everyone can see the fucking difference.
I would have less of a problem if it was like game 3 and there was evidence that this guy was like trying in at least like the first 2 games. I would have less of a problem with it. But he's actually just like playing like Lucina, Joker, Falco. Like none of these he doesn't play any of these characters as far as I'm aware.
For me, I think if the SD is like the set deciding, game or whatever, then absolutely not. Yeah. But yeah, if you're up a game or if you have a game to work with and you just want to do that reset, then sure.
Doing it
probably still not the best thing to do, but
I would posit. I understand the validity behind why some people might do it sometimes. If I was a TI, I would ban it. I say you do that, you're instantly DQ'd. Yeah. You are ruining our spectacle. You're ruining our event. People have paid spectator pass to see you play. You don't do that shit.
Would you do that at a local level as well, or just maybe?
I might, and even like.
I mean, it's even just a good like standard of.
Yeah, it's a standard. Yeah.
Form and behavior at events.
There's a lot of things we're not allowed to do anymore. I think that like actually just tarnishes your whole event. To be honest, if you want to forfeit the whole set, from the start. Okay, whatever. I mean, don't be doing that in the middle of like stocks. You can't force someone to play, obviously. Like,
it's a little bit of semantics though, because you can't. I think you could make it look like you SD'd.
But that is a better. Well, probably not. If you're like multiple,
just like air dodge sideways or something after getting hit, and it'd be like, oh, couldn't make it back, guys.
Well, I mean that. To be honest, that is better though. Yeah. That is visually better for spectators. Than
it's better than
run off the
actually
stage, jump, and which is just dog shit.
Running off and then up being in the opposite direction as Joker, very good.
I look, honestly, as well, like I think you do yourself a disservice. Like I don't think you improve your like mentality. I don't think you strengthen yourself in terms of like dealing with like adversity and stuff. And yeah, to be honest, man, like if you don't actually think you can beat Kamehameha because he's like fucking way better than you, then just surrender the set. Just be like, hey, this guy's too good for me right now. I don't want to get humiliated on stream. I forfeit. Yeah, and I would respect you more.
Yeah,
than that.
I mean, yeah, that's actually just what I said from the beginning. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that was disappointing to see that. I hope it doesn't like. It seems to be like the younger players. I don't like. To be fair, Muta King has done this a lot throughout his career.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he's a tilter. He's a big old tilter.
I know that.
Yeah, he's definitely. I think I've had one person do this to me. I think Jace did this to me once. I think where I hit him with an up smash at the end of a set. He was getting 3-0'd like 2 stocked every game, and I think he like DI'd the up smash up because he died at like 100. Yeah. And like that doesn't kill you. You're too good to DI like that. Yeah. Pretty sure he just DI'd up, but. That was like the set was completely over. Yeah. So, but I think that's the only time. Maybe I've had someone do it to me. I don't think so though. I think when I was really rage quit against me either or anything like that, or raged outside of like Jace didn't rage quit, but he was obviously annoyed at Diddy and Meta Knight at different times. Yeah. Anyone rage or like be salty against you guys that you can remember?
I guess like first week of Ultimate. Yeah.
I've been salty about you a few times.
First week of Ultimate, I had a few people raging against the K rule, like just dash attacking through them.
Bullshit.
Quite a lot as Cloud as well in Smash 4. Like when I was, there was maybe like 3-4 months where I was like pretty untouchable in Queensland with Cloud. Like, if I was focusing, just couldn't beat me.
It's kind of surprising because this is weird, but like. People in Queensland should be used to just getting fucked. So if someone's just like shitting on you, I feel like you shouldn't like complain about it because they're used to it. It's been happening for years. Like Jace is actually just beating them on repeat and me. And you know, so once it's someone new, it's like, it's the same thing. It's the same picture. Like, what do you care? But Cloud is pretty annoying in Smash 4. Anyone be salty? But surely you've had someone be salty at you for winning. Jace was salty, I think, when you beat him.
Gamma Fox.
Yes, Gamma Fox. I forgot about Gamma Fox. Yeah, we've mentioned it before, but like Gamma Fox when Aaron and I went to New Zealand was a. He played Diddy, and I think he had another secondary, but he was like the second or third best player in New Zealand, and Aero beat him to place third at that tournament, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and all-time great quote, which I used unironically yesterday actually to describe a player, but he said. This guy's just like a 50-50 playstyle based on reads, and interpret that as you will. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe I do. Actually, it's like, I was thinking about this. Actually, you know who does this? Was Donkey Kong players. Because they're just playing to read you the whole game. They're like...
I mean, the thing is that this reading kind of thing didn't exist in like Smash 4, whereas in Ultimate, like Donkey Kong will either try and read one of these 3 options. It's either like jump, air dodge, or... attack, and if he gets it right, then you lose.
Well, okay, so I disagree, but you can't call it a 50-50 playstyle. This means nothing.
No.
But based on reads, like of course you are playing Bowser into Diddy. You must read him. You're not going to we're going to outframe data him. Like you have to read him, and your character's good at it. Pivot grab is great. It's a great tool. You can catch bad movement options, and you have tools that you can use. But of course, like you have to play to read him. Whereas you're playing Sheik versus Diddy. The game itself is not based. It's not based on reads. Yeah. There are other fundamentals more so at work. But if you're playing heavy versus like fast, agile character, that's what the game is based on. It's like, can you read me? And if I'm playing Yoshi against your K roll, it's the same. It's like how can I mix up my drifts? How can I hit his shield and like pressure him without being too repetitive, so that he use this armor to like hit me or like get a pivot grab or whatever.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is to play heavy. So
the thing is,
But,
like the
yeah.
50-50 part is weird.
It doesn't
because
it means nothing.
nothing about Bowser.
No.
Nothing about Bowser in Smash 4 is
I mean,
50-50.
that's more
It's
like that's more like a Captain Falcon thing, like down throwing you and just like jumping and like trying to read an edge
yeah,
or
or Sheik, and she down throws you and then like up airs you or up Bs
I don't
you.
know
But whereas
what it
Bowser,
means.
it's like he pivot grabs you and then he gets his like
skills
guaranteed.
Yeah.
I
combo
guess the
move.
pivot grab is the 50-50, but it's not a 50-50.
It's a
just pivot.
100-0.
Yeah.
Because he will hit you from anywhere, much like Luigi Mega Man 100-0 matchup. I'll tell you what. So we've got Christmas coming up soon, and we've kind of ragged on all the attendance of that. But regardless of that, I wanted to talk.
We weren't
about,
being rude.
No. Some people might find it rude, but I wanted.
And that's okay.
I wanted to talk about what the most hype set would be, like your most ideal fantasy matchup between two players in Australia or globally. So okay, I'll tell you one that's not Strix vs Ghost. We've now seen this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
You
Again.
play
Actually,
Sephiroth,
20
Steve.
times in the last couple of months,
You play
actually,
characters who are
really
not
insane,
like. Let's be honest, these characters are not that interesting.
No.
And yeah, this is just not like. And look, this is not. These players are like amazing. They're like easy top 5 in the country. But
Strix dumped me on Wi-Fi the other day.
he's too good.
So-
He's a monster. Was he short hop neutraling? Short hop aerialing.
Yeah.
But and so this is usually the case. Like your absolute best players in the scene are usually not the most exciting ones to watch because they're more refined and they like take things a little bit slower and they're more chill. Whereas you look at like there are some exceptions that like Waveguard in his private and stuff like that. But like even in Smash 4, like Zero, when he was like unbeatable, he's not the most exciting player to watch. He's just like, oh my god, he won neutral again. Fuck. He won neutral again, guys. Holy shit. He's doing that on repeat. So, open the floor to you guys. Who do you think would be, what comes to mind for like globally and in Australia, best matchups players you would want to see? Like you see this coming up on the stream and you're like, I'm watching that. I'm watching that through the whole thing. No shot I'm missing that matchup.
It's a bit of a cop-out, but DD is always going to
Did
be
he?
up there.
Yeah, man. If I can have it said that he's like playing well,
Yeah.
like, I got to watch DD.
You have like a DD Gluttony Ditto or something
Ooh,
like that.
that would be
or-
so good. I would watch that. That's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, you
DD Leo
expect
would be really good.
you'd expect Gluten to just like win, right? But that's what's interesting. Like, how well can he do? Like, so it's interesting based on that. Like, it doesn't even have to be an even matchup. You're just like, I wonder how well that play would do.
Yeah.
Like, how well that Australian would do against that
Well,
international.
one of
player.
the more aggressive, like DD against Cola or Goblin or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
that'd
Like,
be cool.
I think that could be a pretty
If
interesting.
you, as long as you've got DD like pogging,
Yeah.
then
yeah.
that's a great watch.
Yeah.
DD against almost anyone is going to be great, except like a Steve. I'll
Yeah.
avoid that. No,
And even Jix as well.
Yeah,
like,
Jix is
a lot of
very,
those
very
players, or DD and Jix, if there was no Steve involved.
I'll
If
tell you,
it was Diddy, Wario, or something
I'd
like
pay
that.
good money to see Jix vs Tweak. Diddy did it.
Yeah,
I would love to see
that'd
that.
be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, so much movement. You know what's going on? They're flipping around. Like
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, that's
And-
a good one actually.
Yeah, that would be really
Yeah.
great. That'd be so good. I wonder if Jix is the second best DD in the world.
It's possible.
It's very possible.
It's very possible.
They're very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
Kind of butt masher, but in a good way.
Good
It's
at
like spamming tech,
it. Yeah,
which is like you've never heard that before. I
Yeah.
guess you can do that in melee. You can kind of spam tech or just spamming tech. Twig does it as well sometimes.
yeah.
You are really pondering this question.
I don't know. I mean, probably like bias for me, but it would probably be like an Aegis player versus like
I mean,
I don't know,
yeah,
like
that's fair.
someone,
Yeah.
anyone really.
enough.
I do like watching MK Leo's Aegis
Hmm.
as well as
MKLA is, I mean, great to watch, to be honest.
Yeah.
So many people had trouble like watching Zero play in Smash 4, which is kind of unfair for him because the guy was amazing. But I feel like...
I never got that because I found
No,
it
I
so
thought
entertaining
so-
to watch.
yeah, like,
just everything he's
people
doing.
thought
like,
it was
wow.
Diddy's, but like the other Diddy's weren't doing this, man. Like this guy's just bodying people. MKLA does kind of the same thing, but this guy, like, there's something about it. It's just like it's so satisfying to watch. Now he started slingshotting as well. Looks so good.
he kind of plays like very safe. Like the difference between MK Leo Aegis and Shoot On Aegis is like Shoot On plays like more aggressively, I guess, whereas MK Leo plays more reserved. Like
Controlled, yeah.
when someone's on like the ledge, like it kind of looks like all MK Leo is doing is like down tilting, which is like pretty noticeable compared to Shoot On. But
I would pay good money to see Yoshidora play quite a few players.
Oh,
Because that has a few layers. So I play Yoshi is one. Secondly, I think this guy is just a complete monster. This guy is such a good player. And also, we haven't seen him play. We've seen a lot of top-tier Japanese players play against top-tier American players and European players. Yoshidora hasn't traveled. So that's, even if you don't play Yoshi, that's oh my God, how good is this guy?
Yoshidora Tweak would be pretty good.
Yoshidora Light, give me that.
Yeah.
Give me Yoshidora Light, please. That would be. That might be my first.
That might be
number
like
one.
a 6-minute 3-0.
Who wins?
I think Yoshidora would.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Light's fucking good.
He is good.
That would be such a good set. That's my number one.
Yeah.
That's it, actually.
Yeah.
Yoshidora Light. Light would be probably in a lot of people's picks for these. If you guys have any, tweet at us or put it in the YouTube comments what you think would be a really, really great one to watch.
I actually really wish Strix Leon was streamed in France. I think that would have been... Just because they're such fundamental players.
Leon got salty. I want to see why. I want to know why.
Yeah.
When a pro player gets salty, you want to see it, not to see the rage, even though it's interesting, but
what caused
I want to see what is making him do that. Is it is he just getting salty because he's getting fucked, or is it can I visually see that is bullshit?
Yeah, some bullshit forward air that reached into the blast.
Maybe it was the 14 forward airs in 40 seconds.
Don't get me started. I mentioned this in the tier list video. Fucking Strixes. This guy's dog shit. It's funny. It's actually because it's surely so recreatable. Strix's play style. It's he's actually short hop aerialing. But then you try and do it, it's doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
So I don't know what he's doing. He's on some fucking juju or something. That guy's crazy. Yeah. I don't like Sephiroth though.
No.
Annoying character.
Don't think anyone does.
I don't know. Everyone thinks he's so many people think he's bad. Or Sephiroth players Scoot, ex Sephiroth player in Sydney, and Tweak, I think, and maybe even Nairo. I think they all dabble in Sephiroth. They all think he's not very good.
I think he's definitely limited.
Maybe, yeah,
but
could be limited.
There's some pretty overtuned things about the character.
He does.
Yeah.
And he's. I don't really know enough about this character to comment, but I feel if he wins a matchup, he's one of those characters who can actually just shut you out, which a lot of characters don't have trouble doing. Where it's just I'm going to just it's going to body you, it's going to bury you with the range of these, and you're just not.
I feel these really slow characters, very similar to Min Min, how she walls some characters out just by using moves in that direction. How does Incineroar without? I mean, I guess he just kind of has to hope that he gets all of the revenges, right? Yeah. But he can't close the distance of that forward air, really. He kind of just has to walk at them and, I don't know, hope his shield doesn't die. Something.
Just power shield them. It's fine. Just run in there, power shield it, and then punish it.
Oh, yeah. Power shield all 4 of them.
Yeah. Power shield literally any of them with the mechanic that exists in the game, definitely. We'll have to come back to that as well. I'm going to try and think over the week of some of the best Australian players to watch. Jix would be in a lot of those sets. Didi would be in a lot of those sets. Unpheasant, if he sort of unretires, he's great to watch. I actually really have always loved watching Poppet.
Yeah,
in every Smash really game, fundamentally really good.
Fried Rice.
Yeah, he
could be a decent one.
He was hype as fuck.
I'm a big fan of the Gwyff when he was good.
Jason, when he is playing well, is very exciting to watch. Great to watch. I don't think he plays anymore, but Dr. Anus. When this guy was on, actually, dude, I would so love to see Smash 4 peak DD versus Dr. Anus.
Yeah,
I've got no idea who I'd even bet on. This guy might be the best player in the country when he's actually on. He might just beat
Based
Nick.
on untapped potential.
Dude, he's so good, actually.
Yeah.
I've never seen ledge trapping like it. Actually, zero
really good.
Couldn't get off the ledge. Not possible. Still beat him, though. Hey, I was whooping this guy in friendlies, but it was hard. It was hard.
Maybe I'll ask him for some tips.
Is he alive? Is he around?
I think someone
got
he does gigs,
followed music gigs.
Yeah, he was
around the place.
Yeah.
I think he followed someone on Instagram recently.
Yeah, Brenton. Probably.
We should get him on here. We should ask him.
Could we get him on? Yeah, why not?
All right.
Not in person. Okay, interesting. We were at a hotel together once and we played I never thought. Can I say this? Whatever. I never thought. I've never felt more a bunch of friendlies might come to blows. So this guy was super nice to me, complimenting me a bunch, saying how amazing I was as a player. And I was with someone else. I think it was G-Man. And then he left, and then we're playing friendlies, and we're kind of try-harding. And he starts taking a few games, and I was you don't actually think I'm better than you. You've been blowing me up. You definitely think you're way better than me. And it starts to get a lot more serious, and everyone knows this feeling when the friends are getting serious. We had some today, and
don't speak of that.
and people starting trying very hard, and people are getting like a bit salty, and we're like they're all like last hit games, and you know whoever wins, it's just like there's just like those snide comments, but we're all used to this, but then it's just getting a bit more, and I'm like actually sitting there like. Is this guy fucking gonna hit me or what? Or am I gonna hit him? Like, what the hell's happening here? I'm getting really pissed at these friendlies because I'm just like, no, I gotta fucking show this guy I'm better than him. But he's kind of smurfing. Like, getting off the ledge against this guy is impossible. He's just reading certain things, and you know, you kind of know how Ennis and I both play. Is that like when we're playing well, it's fast, so we're spurging, on our controllers, and it's the crazy, one of the weirdest sets of friendlies I've had. Probably did it for like an hour, and I'm like, dude, it's like it's too crazy in here. We got to leave, and then we get out of the hotel, and he's like. Dude, you are so good. You are so good at Smash. Like, man, those friendlies, I'm like, scare me. I think you think I'm shit. I think you think I'm fucking dog shit. Very weird.
Christ.
Actually, something I totally forgot to mention, which we could probably wrap up the last 10 minutes or so of the podcast with, is the fucking Pokemon game that got released.
Yes.
Now, so you haven't played it.
No.
Have you seen anything about it?
No.
Okay, so you're out of this conversation. You're gone. You'll just listen, and then you can decide.
Are you planning on getting it at any point?
No.
No. Okay.
I thought you were. Coward.
No.
Fun hater.
Yeah, you're a fun hater.
Can't buy Game Freak stuff until they make a good game.
Well, that won't happen, will it?
No, it's not going to happen.
Never buying it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, let's continue this conversation,
All right,
Jesmo.
so we have to do a Pokemon episode at some point.
Okay.
Now, but not today. But, so you got Violet, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're playing through it. You're up to the Elite Four now. Thoughts? How are you feeling about the game? Expectations? Pass mark or not?
Not a pass mark.
Not a pass mark.
I'll tell you why.
All right. I was hoping so.
The game is on a base level. It has like so many things that it's like, this could be really good. And then you play it and then you end up at the psychic gym and it's your like third gym badge, and it's like, how have I gotten here? Why am I fighting against like level 40 Pokemon? This could be instantly fixed with just adding level scaling to the game, and it's just so mind-blowing, really, that they have gone through and not even thought about. Have they thought about level scaling? What's going on? Like, they have the concept of level scaling, because in Pokemon Origins, Brock's like, oh, you're a new trainer. I'm going to use 2 Pokemon of my like 6, right? And it's like an animated short or whatever, right?
I was watching them recently.
And in a game where it's like advertised as open world, and then it just feels like so like restricted compared to something like Breath of the Wild, which is open world, and you can like go defeat Ganon and like the.
But a lot of open world games have this though, and it's like you get punished if you go sort of off the track and do content that you, and even if you don't know that you're not supposed to do it, like you just get fucked for it. And the thing is, Pokemon doesn't really punish you for this. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but the thing is that these games, like obviously, if you show up to Calamity Ganon's, tower or whatever in Breath of the Wild, and you don't have like any items, you show up there with 3 hearts, it's going to be hard, but it's still doable. Yeah. Whereas in Pokemon, how do you beat level 40 Pokemon with your level 5 gay duck?
It's probably a way.
No.
It's an Endeavor bullshit or something.
Well, I mean, you could like Fear Rattata or something.
Is it not the same then?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, but this exists in RPGs and these open world games where it's like Elder Scrolls games where it's like if you go off and try and defeat this fucking ice troll with your, I'm going to use a RuneScape reference, Bronze Dagger. I mean, RuneScape's a great example of this. Like, you're going to get fucked. So,
but you can use, I think in these games, you can kind of use skill to at least mitigate the difference whereas in Pokemon, it's a turn-based, stat-based RPG. So you're going to get one-shot by everything, and you can't avoid it unless it's a move that has like a mischance or something. And you're not going to do any damage to them either unless you're using some like really specific Endeavor stuff. But I don't know. It's disappointing because you look and see what the game could have been, like how much more like depth it could have been from just like having that option to tackle any of the gyms in any order, or any of the team star leaders in any order, or any of the titans in any order. You know what I mean?
The Iron Tusk, whatever it's called, the Donphan thing, which is like level 40, was the third thing that I did.
Why?
Because I ended up there and I was like, he looks fucking cool. I'm around here, so he's probably around my level. He wasn't. He kind of was fucking me. But actually, to sort of discredit your point, I did do it. Because I had like Gyarados, who intimidated him. And then he got burned by Talonflame's like Flame Body. Or whatever, maybe it was the one before Talonflame, because it wasn't Talonflame yet. And and then I brought in Gyarados again, intimidated him again, and he just wasn't doing very much damage. And then like beat him the first time, and then old mate Arvin or whatever basically beat him the second time solo, pretty much, with his grass type moves.
Yeah, I mean, I almost beat the ice type gym as like my 6th gym, because the bear tick that he has was being repeatedly intimidated by Arcanine, and then I would swap to Flamingo or Flamigo, and it's a flying type, so he would use Earthquake on, because the Arcanine's fire, right? And I'll just swap between these two, and he couldn't do anything, so I was able to like set up on it, but then I ended up losing anyway. So
great story.
Thank you.
And the moral of that story is...
The moral of that story is that you can't do anything out of order in Pokemon.
Except I gave you an example of when I literally did.
Well, I mean, you can definitely do like a few gyms that are out of order. I didn't even do the electric gym until like the 7th gym.
Okay, so what are your other gripes? I mean, writing off the whole game, this is a problem, but writing off the whole game on this is like a bit much. So what else you got?
I think it loses major points for this, but what else? I don't even think I can like take points off for all the visual glitches and stuff, because they're actually just so ridiculous that it's like, it feels like the game is just completely unfinished. I went through one like cutscene, and there was just an Ultra Ball in the cutscene floating around. I don't know where it's come from. Like, it's not from my Pokemon or anything. It's actually just like there in the middle of the screen, floating around and just like freaking out sometimes, spinning around. And it's like, how does this even happen? How do you get a bug like this in the game?
So yeah, the bugs and stuff for a game by this company with this brand is not acceptable. Obviously,
I think it's not acceptable, but it also kind of like makes it a little bit fun. I've seen a lot of like people riding around on their like dog dragon motorcycle lizard, and it's just invisible.
I haven't had that.
It's just invisible, so they're actually just riding around on nothing.
Yeah,
it looks very silly.
I couldn't say that it adds to the game myself.
I don't think so either.
Well, it sounds like maybe you do.
I don't know. It's like kind of fun. But it should probably lose points for all of the glitches, visual issues, the frame rate. I went into the grass town or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, go find some Sunflora." So I had 10 of these Sunflora running after me at about 3 FPS.
Yeah, they're like...
It was awful.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say I gave it a pass mark.
Okay.
So I've sort of... I'm not about it. Firstly, when I first got it, I was like, this is going to be ass tier. Like, because I don't rate these games and haven't for a long time. Don't really enjoy Pokemon games that much anymore. Then I started playing and I'm like, oh, this is fucking amazing. This is the best Pokemon game of all time. Open world, crazy. Then I started experiencing like lag issues, and I had issues with like scaling and stuff like this and other garbage. And so I've reached this point where I like it, and I think it's, by and large, it's good. The level scaling, what they should do, and this is actually the solution, what they should do straight up, is they should have like, they have a large area, like a big fucking area. The map is huge, right? And you just have this gated. Like, you can't leave this area, and you have like 3 or 4 gyms in here, and, you know, like 2 Titan Pokemon and like whatever for the fucking Team Star. And you do all the content there in whatever order you want, and they all scale to adjust to where you're at. And then when you finish all that, it's like, okay, oh, this gate has opened, and now you can go to the next region, or you've learned fly, so now you can fly over here, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then you go there, and this is done to prevent you from the level scaling from you to like beating the 8th like cool gym leader who's like a dragon type. It's to stop him having a Dratini that's level 10 and being the first gym leader, because that ruins that.
Right, yeah.
Like the game shouldn't be like that.
Like you get to the 8th gym leader and it's Katie with her
pincer
bug
or
types.
something. Yeah, this is a shit house. But if you have like little segments where you can do it in any order, and we'll give you like 4 gyms, then you do it how you want from there. That's really good, and that fixes most of these issues. And if you gate your regions, it stops you like getting fucking insanely lost, and you can still have them be big as well. And you can still have like places where like, hey, maybe in this area the Pokemon are like 3 levels above you by default or something. So it's hard. Great. So there's a lot more stuff you can like do with that to fix that issue. But by and large, I don't mind the capping, because it does remind me of like other RPG games. I was like, hey, fuck, I shouldn't be here. And that's a level 60, whatever. And it's, hey, I skilled all my Pokemon. So it doesn't bother me that much. I'm like, well, I'll leave that region. Like, I obviously can't be there. It's frustrating sometimes. And because the map is so big, it takes you a long time to get to these places. So maybe then you have to backtrack and fly around and stuff, and it can be annoying.
I kind of like found myself getting into like really high level areas, and I'm like, I don't know the route to get to where I need to go.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Without encountering like level 60 Pokemon.
This was a massive problem. It's like they should have made the sort of recommended route for the gym leaders and stuff way more clear. It's kind of vague. Like if you look at the information for each gym, it's like, oh, she's kind of tough, or a lot of trainers start here. I was like, well, is she 1 or 3? Can my level 15 thing deal with that? What do you mean? Like,
Do you mean the Nurse Joy who you ask her where you should go?
No,
next?
It's on the map. If you open the map and you put your cursor over one of the icons of like one of the content, it will tell you information about it. And they're like, this is the fairy type or the psychic type leader, and they're like kind of mid-strength. They're pretty serious, like whatever. It's like, can you actually like say where exactly? Even just saying like she has Pokemon between the levels of like 30 and 40, maybe if you're around there, give it a shot. Yeah. So like that would help, instead of me repeatedly being like, oh, I have to actually Google like the recommended fucking like, line for this.
Yeah, but I went to the Pokemon Center, and there's there's an actual like option. Yeah, where should I go next? Yeah. And I did it once, and it was pointless. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like, oh, you should go to the Pokemart. That might be cool. And I was like, that's useless. Whatever information they gave me was completely worthless. So I never bothered using it ever again after that. So
a few other things that I did like. Firstly, when I saw the sprites of all the Pokemon for this gen, I was like, awful, disgusting. I'm a Gen 1er, so I was like, haven't had a good fucking design in 20 years. You're all awful.
Yeah,
and
the designs are all bad.
Well, I saw them in game and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't mind it. Like some of them are all right. I don't mind them anymore. Like some of them are like, the most egregious one is the stupid chest Pokemon. Dude, this Pokemon's great. That's cool. And then it evolves, and then it's a golden banana. And I'm like, what the fuck? How, man? Like, why did you have this great design? Like, little guy in a fucking chest. He's like, oh, what the fuck? And then you just gave that to a 5-year-old with a crown. What do you mean? How? This guy should be so cool, and you've gutted it. Fix that. Actually, patch that.
I don't know. What do you turn the chest?
Like a mean fucking looking chest, a bigger chest, and he's fucking angry in there or something. Something. Give him something. Don't make it it's actually a golden banana. It is like, it has usurped. So my least favorite Pokemon of all time was, what was it? God, what was it? Oh, something that is just like an object. Something fucking egregious.
Was it the ice cream?
No, it wasn't even the ice cream. It was something worse. I was like, that's just disgusting. But this isn't even like, oh my God, it's an object. That's so lazy. It's just like it's just a yellow... I don't even know what it is, man.
It's a yellow blob.
It's so bad. It actually looks...
It's a bipedal yellow banana.
It looks so juvenile. If you like this Pokemon, I was going to say, let me know why. Don't even contact me. Stop watching the podcast. This Pokemon is dog shit. It's so bad. But by and large, I'm like, okay. So the starters are awful. Don't even. Starters are like some of the worst ever. As a whole, if you combine all the three little starters are fine. The final evolutions are dog shit. Actually disgusting.
My duck is level 10 and in my box.
Fair enough. Yeah. So it's a shame because all the starters are like good. They're cool. They're like, I don't like the duck personally, but the other two, but it's fine. Like I get how some people would like this. Then the max evolution, they're just atrocious. They're actually atrocious. But other things I like I think the game, when it doesn't look like shit, it looks good. when it's not bugging out.
Always.
Yeah, when it's not bugging out like awful, it looks pretty good for a Pokemon game. Like if this had the like the Genshin Impact like textures and everything, like it would look amazing.
It would look incredible.
But I compare it to other Pokemon games, so ergo it succeeds. It's better than other ones.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't.
I mean,
this.
look at Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This game looks awful.
Yeah.
And primarily because of like the chibi art style,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Like you see Cynthia and she's like this badass trainer, and she's just got like a massive head, and a tiny body, and she's like walking around.
They're like, what are the pop, that little like the dolls that you
Funko. Funko.
Yeah, that was like one of those.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what they're called.
Yeah, they're pop something. All the shit that everyone buys of all
Pop
the different
figures,
characters. Yeah,
something
whatever.
like this.
Something pop.
Funko Pops.
Whatever. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Funko Pops.
But
Let's
yeah,
go with
they
that.
look like
They
this,
that,
and it looks bad.
It does.
But at least Violet looks better.
There's also a lot of great quality of life changes. Like I can do the nicknaming from Summary. I can relearn old moves from the Summary. Auto heal's good feature. Like, so there's a nice bunch of like quality of life stuff there. And character wise, like I don't give a fuck about stories. I don't care. Like I'm not playing. It's Pokemon, man. I'm not playing it for the story. I'm 26 years old. I'm not that interested in it. I kind of want to be champion. Like that's cool. Give me a cool rival or something. And so by and large, I actually don't mind the characters. I think all of you haven't really got up. They really excel in the crater stuff when you get to like the crater at the end of the game. Okay. Spoilers. But all the characters like come into their own way better there.
Okay.
And I actually just disparaged it and said I didn't care about the story. The ending of this game is the best of any Pokemon game in my opinion.
Really?
I think it's terrific. At least in Scarlet. I actually don't know what yours is like. But Scarlet, I was actually like invested for the last, you're doing a lot of walking around. You're not even doing that much. For like the last like hour and a half, I was like, shit, holy fuck. Like that's crazy. It's actually so good. The rest of the game, not so much. Like I don't care. Like Team Star, boring, don't care. All this sort of stuff. But I thought Arven is a really good character. I liked his story as much as I sort of can. I don't care that much about them, as I said. The rival, I think, is terrific. Some people have found her annoying. I think she's terrific.
Nah, I really like Nimona.
I think she's brilliant, yeah.
I'm thinking of like the last rival that I liked.
Gary.
Is N a rival?
I don't know.
If N's a rival, it's like probably N. And that's like what, Black and White. So that's a few generations ago.
I don't hate all like the more recent ones. Like I don't even hate How and Hop and
I
whatever.
do.
I don't hate them. They're whatever, but they're forgettable, and they can sometimes be annoying. But
It's because they're not particularly interesting as characters. In fact, these two characters might just be the same person.
They're pretty similar, except like Hop is like, my brother is unbeatable at Pokemon. Have you played my brother? He's so sick. But yeah, I don't mind it. But I think Nimona is hectic, and she's done in a way that it's not like she's a quintessential rival obsessed with battling.
She's
like,
not even that like in depth as like a character.
No,
like,
but
she's
it's
very.
like,
She's like.
It's like. It's like
single
fun. She's a
brain cell.
caricature. Yeah,
But she's
dumb
fun
as shit. Yeah.
She's really fun.
Yeah, and that's like her thing. It's like she's not this pretending to be a person who's obsessed with battling. The whole thing is, I'm fucking obsessed with battling. Like, you want to fucking battle, actually, by the way. Like, I think it's great. I think she's terrific. I want more characters like her. And the other two, I think Arven's great as well. And then the other one, who I guess is spoilers.
That's spoilers.
Yeah.
But I figured it out
yeah,
instantly.
whatever. But that character has grown on me. At first, I was like, God, you are so boring. But then get to the creator stuff, and I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Actually, the most aero character of the three as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll give it a pass mark. I really want to do like a sort of Pokemon designated episode, go through all the games and stuff and the generations and talk about a bunch of different stuff.
Could do a let's play.
Could do a let's play.
What game would we let's play?
Pokemon.
One of the good ones. I think.
I thought you were talking about Scarlet and Violet to let's play.
But you hate it and you haven't played it.
You do hate it, and you also don't want to
Blind
play it.
playthrough.
You might end up against like level 80s or something if you do that blind playthrough. You might do it if you're not blind.
I did it.
Emerald would be a good one.
Well, I was thinking
Or,
like
XD,
Emerald or Platinum.
Yeah.
Not Platinum.
Play,
Platinum.
Platinum, yeah.
Stadium would be cool.
Don't get me started on Stadium,
Yeah.
bro. No. I'm a fucking Stadium monster. You don't even know. Well, you know. I'm obsessed with this game.
Don't bring me into this.
No, this game is so sick. So actually, one of the this is actually interesting. Yes, I once got you. This is for their benefit, people listening. I once got Aero to find out why the formula for why different Pokemon in Pokemon Stadium 1 get different colors for different nicknames. And we were trying to figure out like what that was based off of. Because you're like, if you look up Pokemon Stadium cheats, they're like, if you name your Gyarados Hydro Pump in all capital letters, it will be a big dark blue color. And I'm like, that's horseshit. No, it's not. I don't want to call my Gyarados Hydro Pump for a start. And secondly, no, it's not. It's actually light blue, so you're completely wrong. But Aaron ended up doing a bunch of research. We were fiddling around with it. Another guy had like a resource that had a bunch of interesting stuff on it. And then we were doing testing with PK Hex. And it was like to do with the ID of the Pokemon, every individual character of their name, and then your original trainer ID.
Yeah.
And it's actually so fascinating, but it's kind of hard because I'm like, can I have this nickname and have it look cool? And Era's like, absolutely not. We're not even close to like the right. Oh, and another way they work is that they're actually like, they're not specifically designed colors. It works on like, can you explain this?
So you know how you have like the color wheel tool thing?
Yeah.
Basically, you know how you have those 6 hex digits and that gives you a color? Basically, there's like a range. So you wouldn't be able to get like a gold.
Yeah, they can't actually like change color. They change hue.
It's like hue.
Yeah, they get paler and lighter, or sort of darker and stuff.
And there might be like a slight like kind of like change in color, but it like also depends because I know that like the rocky Pokemon like Geodude and whatever, they have like a higher range, so you are able to change their hue.
Yeah.
So you could have like purple Geodude if you had the correct OG trainer ID.
There was like one Pokemon who like couldn't change color or something.
There were a couple of Pokemon
like
that basically just were.
You couldn't tell. Seal. I think Seal was one of them. I think Seal and Dugong. You couldn't tell because like they're really white or something. You couldn't tell. Because they're white.
Yeah. So
no culture.
That was really, really fascinating to me because like I've data mining and all that kind of stuff, and that's basically what it is.
It was fascinating. Yeah, it actually was.
Learning about that was fascinating. Too bad I forgot all of it until now. Yeah. I haven't really thought about it since like 2 weeks after.
I was like, God, like, because I don't know why. I'm like,
we did figure it out, didn't we?
Yeah, we figured out the formula, and we had to nickname them all like weird fucking shit to get the right colors.
Yeah, stuff like male symbol X.
But this is like why you can go through Pokemon Stadium, get to like one of the final battles, and be like, oh, I've never seen that Pokemon look like that before. And it's just because it can just be even like a little bit darker than the one you've seen previously. It's not like you don't just have like dark Machop. It's like they're all different scales of dark Machop, and then it goes all scales up to like light Machop and all this shit. It's actually really cool. And by the way, all the different colors of Pokemon in Pokemon Stadium look fucking better than all the shinies in later gens. Don't at me. Like they're just I'm trying to think of like examples. Even just like the red dragon looking thing.
I for one love Shining Gengar.
Shining Gengar's okay. Not even that bad.
It's just Gengar.
He's like a bluer, like more blue.
It's Gengar.
No, he's more blue. But Stadium does shit on them. If you go look sprite for sprite, go look at a shiny sprite of a Pokemon from Gen 1 or 2, and then go back to Stadium and then look at like the different colors that Pokemon could be. I guarantee I know which one looks better. 100%. Because like you have Gengars where they stick at the tongue and the tongue is like a completely different color and they just look fucking sick. You have Rhyhorns with blue mouths and shit. They look fucking hectic. I love Pokemon Stadium. Can you tell? This game's sick.
I can tell.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, we gotta play that then.
Yeah, I play that. We should do the Kaizo hack. It's like the hardest. It's like a ROM hack to make it really hard. We don't condone ROM hacking. Yeah, I'll play that. It's like really difficult. If you ever played like a Kaizo ROM.
I haven't actually.
They are fucking vicious. They are vicious. But yeah, I'd love to. We should do that. That'd be fun. We could do that. Easy to do as well. We will. We'll stream it on our Nintendo 64.
Yeah. Let's do
it. But yeah, I think that'll about wrap us up. That's hit a pretty good mark and covered a bunch of topics that we wanted to. That was a nice chill episode. Anything to say after the day you've had, Era?
I've not had a good day.
No. You've been spending all day with me, so yeah, it's never going to be a good day.
My car exploded.
It did. Well, it didn't explode.
Well, it hasn't necessarily exploded. Actually, the last few weeks have been interesting because I had my experience at EB Games as well.
Yeah.
Which
actually ruined your entire week.
Yeah, literally ruined my entire week. I went to EB Games and I'm like, hey, I'd like to buy a Nintendo Switch. And they're like, excellent. We'll get you a Switch right now. And I'm like, is there any chance that I could possibly have a look at the serial numbers of the Nintendo Switch? And this guy's like, nah, I don't really want you scanning our serial numbers, whatever that means. Mm. And then, just like refused to sell me a Switch.
Mm. And it had multiple, like trying to run around looking for certain Switches with different companies, different EB Games and stuff. And they're like, don't have it.
Yeah, none of them had one. And then I wanted a milkshake as well. And then, the first one wasn't doing any milkshakes. And then the second one didn't have any ice.
Then we went to Macca's like last week. And then you tried to get like something there. And they were like, we're not doing those. Couldn't get that either. And
yeah.
Like, really, it is your luck with customer service this week, isn't it? It's been funny. The customer service component in particular, this guy's been getting fucked.
And I got accused of stealing from Woolworths as well. And this woman's like, did you pay for those? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, because I didn't see you pay for it.
Just like, that's how she said it too.
Kind of like that, yeah. And I'm like, well, I didn't get a receipt, so... And she's like...
I didn't get a receipt for my Tim Tams, or whatever the fuck they were like.
It was it was literally 2 packets of Tim Tams because I was going to play Smash with Ari.
Yeah.
And...
I like collecting my receipt for my Mars bar and then claiming it on tax later. So important.
And I bought the Tim Tams for him. I didn't even buy them for me.
Yeah.
And so anyway...
Well, she option selected you because then you're like, can you look it up in the system?
This is the thing, yeah. And I'm like, well, so what are we going to do about it? And she's like, no, it's okay.
You can't do that. So I don't mind her going and saying, hey, I didn't see you pay for that. Okay. But you got to follow it through. You can't be like, hey, you might be a thief. And then you're like, well, can you scan it to like sort of relieve this awkwardness and like so you don't think I'm a thief? And she's like,
nah.
No. I still think you're a thief, kind of. Bye. Like, that's so bullshit.
She was literally side-eyeing me like as I was like leaving as well. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
That is bullshit.
The only saving grace of that day was that I watched a woman get attacked by a bird.
That's lovely. You definitely, no bad karma coming for you.
But I just want everyone to know if that woman wasn't there, it would have been me being attacked by a bird. So...
How gallant of you to prefer it to be her instead. If it wasn't her, guys, it would have been me, not me.
So she saved me from having a really, really bad day.
Yeah, so it was just really bad. Yeah.
That's like you leaving late, so you're actually saving a couple people who would have died on the highway if you
True, yeah.
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
When I was driving down here, actually, there was
Yeah.
a car accident on the highway that
Yes, there was.
That I went past.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even.
And you thought, wow, it's so hard for me, isn't it? Why does everything bad happen to me? Yeah.
And
just ignored me.
I didn't even mention what was wrong with my car, but my transmission is gone, so or something like that.
But you're gonna buy a new cool car.
Maybe
then you would be late. I don't know. Maybe like the curse will be broken when you have a new car. Maybe it's attached to the car, the late curse.
You should get retractable head beams.
Yeah.
Little bug eye. They're funny and cute.
Very cute. This podcast is so over. So thanks so much for joining us, guys. Is Christmas next week or is it the week after?
Yes, second or third. I think it's
probably should have. Well, I was going to say we should like preview that, but like, what are we going to preview?
Yeah.
Jix is going to win.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, and probably a bunch of other places. Jix will win this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Smash
straight up.
We'll see how it goes next week.
Yeah. Jix will win through losers.
Seb beats the
somebody who fucking cares.
Someone.
Doesn't matter.
He might get upset, but I think it's a pretty solid.
I guess like Shmoo could beat Chicks.
No.
And then in the winners, I mean.
It'd be like totally random, and then Jix
just takes it through the rest.
I think Seb Pro is really the only one that has the opportunity to like win this tournament. But
I feel like the matchup is not good. I don't mean character-wise. I just mean like I don't know. Seb might struggle into Jix.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, I think he's
might get hands.
the only one that has the
hands too.
opportunity to win. I don't think he will, but
And also,
anything's possible.
You know, for all those watching, hey, you're watching the fucking up and coming smash god of this country because I'm a monster of this game now.
You better enter.
I've been completely. I've probably mentioned on this podcast. I've been completely fucking dogfuck terrible at this game for like 3 months. How long have we been playing now?
Maybe 2 months.
Yeah, something like that. I've been awful, just so bad. And today, epiphany. I'm cracked. First time my confidence is back.
You got it.
I did. I was fucking smurfing.
Yeah.
So I played Aero a bunch and I was like doing well, but he's tilted. And so I'm like, oh, these wins don't matter. He's gone. And then Benny comes over, who is tied, not playing his best. I'll pay it. I'm smurfing this guy. Oh, seriously. And it's not like I'm just doing the same thing over and over. I'm mixing it up and I'm understanding the engine. And I'm like, it's like the Matrix when Neo discovers like everything and he can see, you haven't probably seen the Matrix, but he can see like the numbers, he can see the code. And I'm like, everything makes sense. And I'm like, I don't get hit here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just have to do this here. I won't get hit. Fucking crazy. So watch out. I'm coming for you.
Yoshi flying around at the speed of sound using his like really broken moves.
Yeah, he is. He is doing that. And getting the combo extensions, doing shit I've literally never done before. Playing Yoshi for 2 months, doing stuff I've never done before.
You got the
throwing
the
eggs.
bear
Never done that one before.
No, don't even troll. Don't even troll. He's salty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually ruined this guy's entire day. So yeah, never ever enter anything ever again. And everyone watching the podcast can be like, but he told us.
Yeah.
He said he was good, and we'll just believe that.
golden.
Yeah.
Oh, GG's.
Yeah. GG's. Thanks very much, guys, for listening. Hopefully we will review Pissmas. We're going to do 2 more episodes for the rest of this year. That's the plan at this stage. And then we're going to take a break, obviously, across Christmas and the New Year and all that, and start season 2, hopefully. I don't know when Genesis is.
Probably January, February.
Okay. But we're going to, hopefully, I think, we'll release some content along maybe that period or over the next like 2 weeks. So we're going to do basically a Pissmas review next week. God, I hate that tournament name. And the week after that will be the final one for the season and for the year. So thanks so much for joining us, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode and have
a wonderful day.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
See ya.
Do it now. I don't want you to back on the fuck podcast. Just burp now.
Wait, no.
And turn face that way. Don't do it over here. I will deck you.
I can't do it. Stage fright.
You burp constantly.
Huh?
You burp constantly. Burp now.
I can't do it.